Christian has been doing some work on this old pickup. Can you see that in the new tow bar? And then there was a very concerning issue on this front near side wheel, which was it was sort of splaying out, would be one way of putting it, and behind the wheel, front suspension top arm, does that sound right? I don't know, it's probably the old parties in there, but that was very worn to the point it looked like it might drop off. So he got that, and it was not cheap. It was something like, the full price would have been £480, but he got a discount on it. I don't quite know how or why. And then he needed some other little bits and pieces to do with it, but the total bill was nearly £500, but they managed to fit it themselves. But it was a beast of a job, although like a lot more things, when you've done it, you realise it wasn't that difficult if you knew what you were doing. So from that front suspension arm to just in front of the fuel tank, there's a torsion bar which works like this, and that gives it additional strength so it can carry more weight on the front wheel. And anyway, changing that all had to be disconnected to change this part, and it's splined both ends, and all the nuts and bolts were like very tight but not really rusted up, to be fair. Everything has come off reasonably easy without like cutting it off or something, and it's all back together again. And there was absolute panic stations at first, because when they got it all done, they stood back and looked at it, and oh my god, it's still the same, if not worse. And what it was just the way it was jacked up. When they actually put it down, everything was correct. But I tell you what was worrying was that they were looking underneath, saying, why on earth is it still out of line? And they started thinking that the chassis was bent. Well, it maybe is, but as if it had had a front impact at some point. I mean, you might have already noticed there is a front impact on that plastic bumper, but that's recent and not really significant. It's only just the plastics that are slightly cracked or something. So anyway, panic over. It was absolutely sickening that they spent most of £500 on bits, and spent maybe nearly 3 hours fixing this thing, and it was still wrong.